As a truck driver, you have the real possibility of being the first responder in an accident, and it could be up to you to try and prevent a death. With the right knowledge and the right equipment, your chances of achieving that are greatly improved. I would like to introduce Pip Cottrell. Pip works for Farmco as the Clinical Standards Manager, is a former intensive care flight nurse and ambulance officer, and has spent over 30 years involved in the emergency care sector. Pip is here to teach us what we should do in the event we are the first responders at an accident scene where someone is bleeding severely. Pip.
Dave, major bleeding, where blood is spurting or pouring from a wound, is a very real possibility of a road traffic accident. Other road users are often the first on the scene, and with life-threatening bleeding, time is critical. With thousands of truck drivers working hard on the road every day, there's a real possibility that you could be the first responder. If you come across an accident where somebody is bleeding profusely from a wound, it's really important that you stop the bleeding, because there's a real possibility of the person dying before emergency services reaches you.
So, Pip, is all bleeding the same? Should I attend to the screamers first?
That's a really good question. At motor vehicle crash sites, there are a lot of people who are very distressed, and there's a lot of crying and screaming, and also it's easy to become distracted by the injuries that you might see.
Yep.
Your first priority has to be dealing with and identifying with the immediate life threats.
Yep.
So here are some things that you can do. First of all, look out for dangers for yourself and the others at the accident site to prevent further harm. Then call 111 and get emergency services on their way. If you see blood that is spurting or pouring from a wound, you need to stop that. The whole idea is to keep the blood on the inside.
Yep, poor old Ed's bleeding here.
Yep. So then you move to the airway, and if the airway is obstructed, open it.
Yep.
Check for breathing, and if the breathing is inadequate or is absent, assist with the breathing. Also check for a pulse, and if there's no pulse, start CPR and use an AED defibrillator if one is available.
Okay.
So these are the immediate life threats that can cause somebody to die before emergency services arrive.
Okay.
Remember too that you can use other people at the accident scene to help you with those tasks.
Okay. So if I come across an accident and someone's gushing blood profusely, what should I do?
It's very important with blood that you protect yourself and others, as we suggested before. That's the first step. So if you have a pair of gloves for personal protection, it's a good idea to use them. If you don't, you can use anything around you, like an item of clothing. And just bunch it up, place it over the bleeding wound, and press down with both hands.
So how much pressure do I need to apply?
The message is press hard, don't stop.
Right.
So directly over the wound that is bleeding, press using your whole body weight, using two hands. And don't stop until the ambulance arrives or you have somebody who can take over from you. Just remember to tell them the same message, press hard, don't stop. So if there is severe life-threatening bleeding that is coming from an arm or a leg, you can use a CAT Tourniquet.
Right. Can it be used over clothing, Pip?
Yep. So we think about high, tight, and over the clothing.
Okay.
So it's high at the top part of the arm or leg, and over the clothing. Make sure there are no solid objects in the way that could prevent the CAT from working. Wallets and phones, and if the clothing itself is protective clothing like motorbike gear, that will prevent the CAT from working, so you will need to remove it.
Okay.
So pull that strap really tight, then wind the windlass until all bleeding has stopped. This is going to really hurt, but if you don't do it tight enough, the victim will continue to bleed.
Oh, I see, it just goes in a little safety catch there.
Yep.
Okay.
So then just lock the windlass and note the time that you applied to the CAT so that you can pass that on to emergency services.
Okay. Pip, do you apply the CAT different to an arm or a leg?
No, you apply the CAT in exactly the same way, just high and tight on the upper part of the arm or leg. If you have a limb that has a wider circumference and one CAT doesn't stop the bleeding, you can apply a second CAT immediately above the first.
Can you apply the CAT to yourself?
Yes, the CAT has been specifically designed so you can apply it using one hand to your own arm. The important thing is that you need to practice so that in an emergency situation you know what to do. Remembering that applying a CAT quickly means less blood on the ground and less bleeding time.
Right.
It's really important for you to practice with your CAT, but make sure that you keep it out of your first aid kit, your practice CAT, because you need a brand new CAT for those emergency situations.
Okay, so even if you practice with a CAT that is just on yourself with no bleeding, that's still one use? That's it?
One use. Make sure you've got a practice CAT and one for your kit.
Okay. So there we are, team, scene of the accident and stopping the bleed. It's something that none of us want to confront in our careers, but in our line of work, it's probably something that we all will confront at some point, or there's a strong likelihood we'll confront it. Some great cues from Pip: press hard, don't stop. And the CAT Tourniquet is a great device to have in your first aid kit for dealing with something like this. Pip, where would a driver get a CAT Tourniquet from?
The easiest way to buy a CAT is to go to our website, pharmacoemergencycare.co.nz.
pharmacoemergencycare.co.nz. Thanks so much for giving us your time today, Pip. It's been fantastic, and thank you to the team at TR Group.